Hello everyone, welcome back to our class of economics. Last time we studied about the industrial sector of our country and during the British rule and about the decay of handicraft. Now we are going to study about the bleak growth of modern industry. Now in this we study about the modern industry, what was the situation of modern industry, whether it was growing or whether it was not growing, that we will come to know. So during the British Raj, modern industry show only a bleak growth. Here bleak means that is not very encouraging, or in the, we can say, in the fact or figures, it was very slow or it was nil, it can be said. So during the 19th during the second half of the 19th century, that our modern industry started growing, that was after the independence. So we can see these things through three observations. Some of the industries were established by the private entrepreneurs, like Tata and Iron Steel Company, that was founded in 1907. Then sugar industry, cement industry, and paper industry. These all were established at that time, and there was also establishment of some other industries because of the good requirement in the worldwide, like because there was World War One and World War Two, so many goods were required, or products were required by because of this World War. Then second point, the state partition in the process of modern industrialization was very less, because they were continuously busy in expanding their market for British product in India. So they were continuously focusing on that thing only, so that how the goods from the Britain could come to India, and that could be sell on a larger scale. Then third, there was no capital industry in our country at that time, when Britishers were ruling in our country at that time. So capital good industries are those industries which produce capital goods which can be further used for the industrial purpose, like for making machines and all. Then briefly, industrial sector on the eve of independence revealed four characteristics. That was, first characteristic was, handicraft industries was systematically destroyed by the Britishers by discriminatory policies owned by that British people. Then modern industry showed a bleak expansion, means at least there was no expansion for modern industry in our country at that time. Then capital, on the name of capital goods or capital industry, there was no such industry was there at that time. Then while the traditional Indian industry like handicraft were decaying, the modern industry remained in infant stage, means as the handicraft industry was coming down or it was decaying, we can say that at that time modern industry was not too established at that time. Now we talk about the foreign trade under the British rule. Now before the British rule, India was very famous for its foreign trade, and the Romans also used to call the sink of world's bullion. Bullion means gold. Okay, but when the Britishers came to India, the British rule brought this all to an end, and now India was well known as an exporter of finished goods such as fine cotton, silk, textile, iron golds, wooden goods, ivory work, and precious stone. But the Britishers converted India to be for the exporter of raw material and importer of finished goods. Now we can say that this can be explained by the following observations. First point, the net exporter of primary products and importer of finished goods. Owing to colonial exploitation of India, India became net exporter of raw material and became the importer of finished good. We can say that the exporter of primary products was like raw silk, cotton, wool, jute, indigo, sugar, and etc. And on the other hand, we can say about the importer of finished goods like wooden clothes, cotton, silk, and all that was produced by this modern industry there at that time. Then we talk about the second point: monopoly control of India's foreign trade. As we know that the India's foreign trade was manipulated by the British government, so more than 50% of India's foreign trade was directed towards the Great Britain. Means here India's trade was mostly towards the Britain only, and India was exporting and importing goods from Britain only. Then while the exporter of primary product, or we can say it is a raw material from India, the supply input to British industry, importers of finished goods from the Britain provided a huge market to British industry. Then we talk about the third point: surplus trade, but only benefit to the Britishers. Now, surprisingly, India was exporting much at that time. Means India's export was very large at that time. It was an import from the Britain was very less at that time, because here when we see the export is bigger than import, we say it as an surplus, trade surplus. But this surplus was of no use, because at that time India was exporting raw material. It was not exporting finished goods at that time, and this surplus was very bad for India at that time. Now the trade surplus was not used, and that trade surplus was also not used for the development of the country. Instead, it was used for the administrative management in the country, and the Britishers, whatever they used to fight wars, that all wealth were used in that fighting war only. So that's all for today. We will meet up in the next class with the demographic profile during the British rule.